Hello and welcome back to Anal Comics. You're watching a world record now. This is the smallest mega haul ever. The most insignificant purchase ever made. Well, not really. This was significant for me. You see, I made a decision in January that I would not buy any new comics this whole year. That's a big decision. As a comic fan, you know that. And I guess when making that decision deep down, I knew that that's not going to happen. And I made it until June. I bought this in June. I think that's good result. And always when you're breaking your own rules, the limits you set for yourself, you have to come up with some kind of excuse that is plausible, that is at least you believe it. And I found mine in Proverbs. Proverbs are those little golden nuggets of wisdom that can be found in every culture, in every country. Like the one about Finnish positive way of looking at life, which says that every day is worse than the previous one, but so much better than the next one. Those kind of golden nuggets. And the one that released me from my bonds of not buying anything was one that I like pretty much because it's almost philosophical. I like it in a philosophical level too. It says that the money isn't yours until you use it. Now think about that. Before using the money, it's just zeros and ones on some server. It's like an agreement we have made between everybody that's a potential. You might be getting something with that. But it's really nothing until you have swapped it to something tangible. So I saved all that money that was sitting there and swapped it to something useful. Comics. See, it wasn't that hard. You just have to find an excuse. And Proverbs are really good excuse because it doesn't matter what you want to do or not want to do. You always find a proverb that backs up your idea of what is right. And another thing that made me go this unwild was the fact I belong to a Facebook group in Finland that sells and buys used comics. People are offering their old comics there to sell, or then they want to buy something. And I found one ad selling these comics really cheap. Each of these are only €3, except the first one is €5. And I think they were all a really big bargain. So in a way, I kind of saved money there, almost made money there, I think. But enough babbling, let's get into the comics. I just kind of wanted to make this to tell you everybody that, yeah, I did. I made the one rule and I broke it. That's been happening around in the comics world. First in the pile was Daniel Klove's Ghost World. I read his Wilson story just a while ago and I loved it. And when I saw that this was available only for €5, I thought, why not? I still haven't read this, but it's liked by many, some kind of growing up story. And they say that it's a really good storytelling. So I'm waiting to get into it. The next two albums are Rubin. And this is done in the same style as Walteri's other series, Natasha. Actually, I have it here. Natasha, the air stewardess. This is more action and kind of comical, funny in a way. But Rubin is more violent. Although it's kind of very comical looking, it looks like it's not violent, even if you look at the back cover of it. A bit sexy character and so on, but she shoots to kill. And I like the balance in the book because the graphics are cartoony, but still the action is kind of adult and also violent. So you really don't know what's going to happen. And there are only a few of these translated in Finnish, and they're a bit hard to find with decent pricing. So these were a good find. And I'll show you some pages. Although in European comics, this is a European comic, the art is the same as in cover. Just in case you are watching this from USA, that's the thing about European comics. When you see the cover, you know what's inside graphically. That's the way it works. Next one is also an album. This is by Jacques Tardy, and this is his clear line style, Adele Black 5. In Finnish it's just Adele, ja hirveet means and monster. I have not read any of these, but I do know that it is in clear line style. And I just made a video about clear line style, just not the previous one, but the one before that. So if you're interested to know more about the clear line as a style, there's now a video about that too. And the next 3 books, which are also the last books of this pile, are all by Harri Pystynen. Pystynen is his last name, and he also calls this character, the main character of his dark humor stories, he calls that character Pystynen. And for some reason he's rarely using pants, so you can see his jingle bells. So I have to see what I can show you, because you never know about YouTube. But the story of Pystynen, the Harri Pystynen, the creator itself, is kind of sad. Before he was making comics, he was a professional musician, but he had such a bad stage fright. He was so afraid to be on stage that he had to quit. So he decided to do comics, and he only got to do comics for 5 years before he died, and he was only 35 years old then. I mean, just with this content alone, because I read this one years ago, now I got it back finally, and I know some of the insights here. The quality he's making, I mean, he could have been so much more. He's already quite a lot with this. I think he only has 1 album that was published during his lifetime on top of these, and then 1 album that was published after his death, like collected. And these are mostly collected albums anyway. They're all black and white. And I have to see what's in there, because there can be stuff that you can't show in YouTube. Violence is okay, but nudity is not. And that's the way he does that. This is thank you to life. It says, this is a wordplay. Jäähyväiset aaseille. It means like farewell to idiots. But if you remove 1 A in Finnish language, it means farewell to weapons. So it's a wordplay. And these are collected editions. I'll show you some pages. Maybe it was this one. Catechismus. Yeah. There are some stories that are full page or few pages. Some are just 1 picture. And he was making these comics to many magazines, many newspapers, just working a lot to get enough money to do that. And depending on what type of magazine or newspaper it was, it dictated how gruesome, how cruel the joke could be. And you can see that when you read this, you kind of know what type of magazine it must have been on. But the darkest humor here is really testing the reader. And I like it. I really like it. So sad that he passed away so young. So that was it. That was all there was to show. And I just wanted to make this in a way to inform you that, I broke my rule. Now there is a hole in the dam, it's leaking, and when there's a hole in the dam, it only gets bigger. And maybe someday there is a flood. You never know. I'm also making, in a process of planning another video. I won't reveal too much about it. It's a one that I thought I would be never able to do. I'm so happy to get to do it. It's kind of very personal thing. And I can reveal that much that it involves Scrooge McDuck and Don Rosa. I don't know if it will be the next one, but I'll try to get it out as soon as possible. But whatever happens, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.